Happy yikes! My chair just sank on me. What a way to start alive. Happy Thursday to you. My name is Adam. I am the executive director here at the Factory Ministries. Thanks for tuning in. My chair just sank again. I'm soon going to be on the floor. Thanks for tuning in here to our live. Here we got to fix this thing. It is really it bad way to start a live. Chair is falling apart. Anyway, it is so good to see you. Thanks for joining. So each Thursday, except for the last two, we jump on here and we celebrate. We celebrate what's been happening. We look forward to what's coming, and we have some fun with some dad jokes and some encouragement. So here's how we're going to start today. I have some of you know, if those of you who are regulars on live know that I at times will sing. I'm known to sing. Hi, Lorraine. It is good to see you. Happy Thursday to you. At times I am known to sing to those who have birthdays. Now, the reason I do this is because I'm a terrible singer, so it's not to subject you to that. But what I have, it's what better way to say I love you when I'm singing to you than to sing, because it's like, man, it's just, so if I'm willing to do it out here publicly for all of the internet to see, it means I love you. So today there's someone I truly love, and I thought, you know what? I need to sing them because her birthday is today. Her birthday is today. It is my wife, Tanya. She's probably not tuning in right now because I believe she's with her sister right now. So she may catch this later and watch this and can comment then. But I'm going to sing to my wife. It is her birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is, though I will tell you she's older than I am. So she has gracefully shown me how to age. How about that? But Tanya is a beautiful person. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sweetie Tanya, and all the other fun names I give you. Happy birthday to you. There you go. It is my wife's birthday today. So I deeply appreciate her and all that she is and who she is. A beautiful person inside and out. So thank you for enduring my singing and wishing my wife a happy birthday. Okay, with that said, we've got some fun stuff to talk about today. Good stuff to talk about. Why don't we start with a dad joke or two? Is that a good way to start? Here we go. So someone told me recently they were abducted by aliens. I was like, wow. I didn't even know aliens existed. They said, yeah. They made me, listen to this. Listen to what they did to him. This is this person to me. They made me wash my hands. They made me clean my room. They made me eat all my vegetables. I was like, wow, that's interesting. They said, yeah, turns out I was abducted on the mothership. You can't get this content anywhere else. Anyway, with that said, next one. Talked to a friend who said, when I get to work, I immediately hide. It's like, you immediately hide? Like, what do you mean? Like, he says, yeah, I hide. I make sure that no one can find me. I was like, well, that's interesting. He says, yeah, because I've heard that good employees are hard to find. Louise, you like the mothership one. There you go. Love that. Good employees are hard to find. And one more, then we'll jump into other things that are going on here. All excited the other day. I was on my way to work, and on my way to work, I saw a deer. It's like, this is amazing. So I got to work and shared with someone, I saw a deer on my way to work, He said to me, how do you know it was on its way to work? I said, I know. I saw a deer Anyway, I probably botched that one too. That one didn't come out quite right. So let's just be done with the dad jokes for now and jump into what we got going on here this week. Okay, so here we go. I know, Louise. You can't get anywhere else. Joanna, I know. I know. What can you say? Here we go. So, a couple things to celebrate. First one, this past weekend, there's a whole group that went to winter camp. Our teenagers were at winter camp. So there's the group that went along. You'll see them all there. Great weekend. I cannot say thank you enough to the donors and individuals that graciously gave to make that possible. Huge thank you to them. Actually got someone last night that reached out to me and said, hey, I really wanted to support 2 teenagers. I have a check on its way. So super, super thank you for making that possible to that weekend. Great weekend, great stories. Micah and Ebeth and their whole volunteer team. You saw some there in the picture. This is the weekend. This is some of you know have been going to camp. Maybe you grew up going to camp, or camp is a significant reality. It kind of gets you away. It unplugs you. It disconnects you. Kind of hang out with your friends. It's just that, and again, some really cool things happen there in that space. So huge thank you to those that made it possible. I will say that on that note, the youth center meets on Thursday night. So today is Thursday. So they meet tonight, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Tonight coming off a camp. So if you know a teen or have a teen or live next door to a teen or are a teenager yourself, would love to have you come out. Okay, next thing we have for you is Fourth Food Friday. This is something we do every month, once a month. Salad dressing, mayo, ketchup, cereal, dish soap. Again, they're the items we're looking for this month. Salad dressing, mayo, ketchup, cereal, and dish soap. Again, Food Friday is significant. Gave a tour yesterday to a community organization that we're partnering with, and we have partnered with for a long time. And they walked through the market for the first time. And they're like, man, this is significant. They were just blown away. Everyone is. One of the cool things is I love saying this. This is one of my favorite things to say. People say, well, they immediately all kinds of questions come out. And especially when it's organizations we partner with, they're thinking through their own leadership of their organizations. They're like, wow, they start to put together what it takes to run a market like that. And so they start asking a lot of questions. And I love asking when they ask the question, how do you get your food? And I say, we spend in a year's time, we seldom ever spend more than $500 in food. Again, I told a story yesterday, like last year we spent some money because someone donated a steer to us to butcher so that we could have hamburger there. So we had to pay for the butchering. So things like that. So it is a rare thing that we spend money. It is you, our community, who make this happen. So, and when they walk through and see how full the shelves are, it is significant. So I cannot say thank you enough. Hi, Ann. It is good to see you. Ann knows my wife. Ann, today is Tanya's birthday. And Ann, if you just jumped on, you missed me singing happy birthday to Tanya. I know, Ann, when we're all done here, you're going to want to go back and rewatch me singing. So that's Fourth Food Friday. Sorry, back on track here. Fourth Food Friday. So again, you make that possible. And again, we put specific items out because we want that consistent stock on our shelves. And so again, thank you for that. So like the post, share the post. Maybe start a food drive with your small group, your Sunday school class, your neighborhood, your family, your coworkers, any kind of group you have. So that's Fourth Food Friday. Next thing we have coming up, and this is a big one. I'll spend a lot of time on this one. The last couple lives we've done. We did a whole live 2-3 weeks ago that was nothing but Big Shots. Big Shots happens tomorrow. Here's the exciting thing. This is super exciting. Last year we had 28 shooters. This year, as of right now, at 11:47 on Thursday, March 9th, we have 38 shooters. 38 shooters. There's Caleb and his wife. Caleb is right up here in Intercourse with Barron Insurance Group, and he's the one that really piloted this fundraiser years ago. It was kind of Barron's thing and partnered with us. So super thank you. Big thank you to Caleb, and he will be one of the shooters tomorrow. So again, I say 38 as of right now because you could still be a shooter. Now, what it takes is signing up, getting sponsors, and coming out and shooting. So talked to someone just a little bit ago. If they hit 40 shots, they will make $1,000 for the factory and the work that happens here. Super excited about that. So again, if you figure last year's number was 917 was the average for all shooters. So 38, you think, man, we're going to be probably, it looks like north of $30,000 to $40,000 is a likely number. So that's super exciting. So For those of you that say, well, I don't shoot, you could stop out tomorrow from 9 o'clock through to 5 o'clock. There will be shooters here. So if you just want to come out and check it out, cheer them on. Maybe you're someone that's like, hey, I didn't get to sponsor, but you want to come out and just pick a shooter and say, hey, I'll put money in, or there's going to be half court shots, $5 a shot. Again, at the end of the day, if you made a half court shot, then that money splits with you, and the other rest of it comes here to the factory. There's lots of fun, lots of excitement, food, energy, etc. So that is tomorrow. Big shots. So super, super excited about that and can't wait. Maybe I'll even do a live tomorrow just to kind of capture that and kind of talk about it and share tomorrow. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the Community Leadership Summit happening on Friday, March 31st. You'd say, hey, if you consider yourself a leader here in the community or surrounding areas, would love to have you here, whether you're a business leader, whether you're a mom, moms are leaders, a dad, whether you are a pastor, a leader of a nonprofit or a government organization, etc. We would love to have you here. David Ashcraft and Rob Skasel published a book called What Was I Thinking? That's really a book, a concept focused on decision making and making good decisions. That is something that, again, for those of you that are in leadership know, leaders are all about, they make decisions. And so again, you want to make good decisions because, man, when leaders get it right, it is significant the impact that can be made. Leaders aren't more important than others. But leaders do have some significant influence. And when decisions are strong and healthy, it's amazing the impact it can make. So that's what, just again, bring people together. It's $25. You get a book, you get breakfast, and you get 2 hours with the authors. So that is coming up on March 31st. Also right around the corner, right after that is Grace Point Church is going to be having church here at the factory. Love to highlight this, talk about this. For any of you, here's the thing that's really important to us. We love the local church. For those of you that may not be plugged into a local church, but love the factory, this is a great opportunity for you to explore a local church without actually having to go to their church. Just come to the place where you're already familiar and comfortable and check that out. So that's coming up on the 26th at 10:15. Next thing I want to mention, African Violets 101. This already kicked off and is running. Kicks off today. Doesn't already kick off, kicks off today. So again, still time to get in on this. Marie Glass is all things African Violets and what she knows and understands. So you want to come on out and check this out. She's been growing violets since the 1970s. And they just, again, have a very special place in her life. And again, she'll be journeying for 7 weeks on the growing of African violets. So super exciting about that. Love for you to check that out. Before we end with some encouragement, a couple other things. A community care team happens today. They're going to be helping actually do some prep for big shots. So happening today from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So come on out right here to the factory, community care team, and jump in on that. Okay, let me just double check my notes. I like to look at my notes, just make sure I covered it all because I sometimes don't get it all. So anyway, okay, here's what I want to end with. I want to end with this. Actually, we'll do this encouragement, end with some dad jokes, then wrap up. I saw the movie. How many of you have seen the movie, The Jesus Revolution? Seen the movie? It's quadrupled its expected earnings. And so it come out and it's, I think, over 40 some million already that it's made. And it's really been quite a popular movie around the country. I've already actually got to see it twice. I saw it last week and it went kind of on my own. It was away at a spiritual retreat, kind of took that in, just part of, I love, my kids make fun of me. You can too. Go ahead, put it in the comments. My kids make fun of me that I absolutely love. One of my favorite things to do is go to the movies all by myself. It's kind of weird. I know. Sorry. Anyway, so went and checked this movie out. Loved it so much that, hey, I'll take my kids. So we went back again. And again, second time was just as rich, if not better. Rich movie, cool thing. So it got me thinking a lot about spiritual life. And, it's one of the resources we talk here at the factory about. Poverty is not just what's in a bank account. Poverty is a lack of resources and options of resources. And we look at kind of 6 key areas. You can be emotionally impoverished, intellectually impoverished. You can be physically, relationally. One of the areas is spiritual. And so we talk about that. So it's got me thinking a lot about this. And the Jesus Revolution movie was a true story that happened back in the 60s into the 70s. and out in California, and kind of an awakening of sorts that happened that kind of swept our whole nation. And I got thinking about that. So there's some of that happening right now. If you're familiar with the news, if you've caught the news at all out in Asbury, and there's some things happening right now. So this has me thinking about this. It made me think about, yes, Joanna. Yes. Joanna actually asked me a question. Weren't you in Andy Irwin's class at a school called Word of Life in upstate New York? He was actually, the Irwin brothers produced this movie, directed and produced. And Andy Irwin was, yes, he was in my class. So he's wouldn't call him a friend. He was a friend there. We have lost, still connected over time, friends on Facebook. But anyway, so it's kind of fun too, to go to a movie that I'm like, I know, hey, look at that. That's fun. I know the people who are behind that. So, but yeah, great movie. So as I'm thinking about that, I started thinking about, here's a verse that it was in my own reading last week from the Bible, 2 Thessalonians 3:5. I'm going to read this to you. This is actually kind of a cool verse. It says, may the Lord lead your hearts into a full understanding and expression of the love of God and the patient endurance that comes from Christ. Now, think about this. So Paul's prayer, the writer of this, is writing to the group of people, and he's like, I'm praying for you. I am going to pray for you. And here's my prayer for you. I'm going to pray that the Lord leads your heart into a full understanding of God's love and his patience with you. So the God of the universe who made you and me is identified as a loving creator. He's made you and me. And Paul says, man, it is life transforming to understand his love. His love. Now, what really gripped me with this, as I thought about this, is think the words of this: may the Lord lead your hearts into a full understanding. If I would come to you and say, hey, I want you to fully understand something, we oftentimes think of understanding as a head thing. Like my kids are in school today. They're learning math. They're learning geometry. They're maybe learning they may be learning English and science and other type things, right? They're gaining an understanding. When we think of the word understanding, we often think of my head, my mind, my brain, the things I'm going to learn and process. Paul, though, uses the word understanding not in relation to the head, but in relation to the heart. Significant to think about this. You know, and it's kind of fun how Paul writes this over 2,000 years ago, and social science has studied and researched that there is a processing in the body that's outside of just intellectual. We process in our hearts, our guts. It's very, very significant. And so Paul says, listen, I don't just want you to intellectually know a thing, to understand a thing. I want you to experience this thing. I want you to grab it deep in your heart, because when you grab it there, so this is, I was thinking about the movie, and thinking about what's happening kind of around our country now, thinking, man, that is what transforms a life. When we get and understand the love that God has for us in the person of Jesus Christ and his patience, and we really internalize it, not just through my head, but in my heart, it can be transforming. Ran across a quote, says this. This is Ashley Stahl is her name. Ted, you may be familiar. She's written a book. She's on TEDx. I don't know where she's at with Jesus or in relationship to religion. But here's one of her quotes, is I love it. Clarity comes from engagement. It does not come from thought. Clarity comes from engagement. It does not come from thought. It made me think of John chapter 8. There's a verse that's quoted a lot about knowing the truth, and the truth will set you free. It's a verse that Jesus speaks of. And I hear all the time, you think, okay, well, I got to know something, I'm going to be set free. But that's not what Jesus says. The verse, the words and the sentences that come right before it says, if you abide, practice, live in, then you will know, and that knowing will set you free. Love that. So Jesus really very clearly says, hey, listen, don't just go to school. Don't just go learn a thing. Practice a thing, engage a thing, walk with a thing. And as you experience that, you're going to be able to find, you're going to actually abide in that, learn that, practice it, and then you're going to know it, deep down in know it, and it's going to set you free. So anyway, that just really challenged me recently. So my heart and my prayer for you, I would pray the same thing Paul prays, who wrote 2 Thessalonians many, many years ago. May the Lord lead you. May the Lord lead you, your heart, into a full understanding and expression of the love that he has for you and his patience in the person of Jesus Christ. I pray that for you. And really hope that you have it. And not just in your head, but it's something you've experienced. It's something you can lean into. It's something you can walk with and journey with and practice and abide in and find the freedom that can be given in that thing. So my prayer to you, my heart to you, hope that encourages you at some level today here on this Thursday, March 9th, also known as Tanya Nagel's birthday. And I already sang once. I'm not going to do it again. I will not torture you twice in one live. Okay, so let's wrap up. Again, a lot of other things there that we talked about there. But again, Big Shots is a big one. Big Shots happens tomorrow. Community care team this afternoon. You can come help prep for Big Shots. And we always like to end with a dad joke or two or three or four. But let's just end with, I think I got four here. How about four more? So anyway, here's the first one. Some of you know I was a pastor in a past life. And hi, Lorraine. Thank you, Lorraine. Happy birthday to her. If you're on right now, wish my wife a happy birthday. I'll make sure she sees it later and catches it. Her name is Tanya, Tanya. Anyway, so here we go. So I was at a funeral one time, officiating a funeral, and this guy comes to the woman who's lost her husband. Okay, her husband's in the casket, so she's now a widow. And he says to her, "Do you mind if I say a word?" So I was like, "Oh." So she says, "Yes, please do." The man clears his throat and simply says, "Bargain," and then walks away. What was stunning to me is when the wife, the widow, replies, "Thanks. That means a great deal." Can't get this anywhere else. I'm telling you, this is good content right here. Next one. What do you call a zombie who doesn't joke around? I think I've used this one before. I couldn't remember, but if I didn't, if I did, it's been a while, so we'll refresh it. What do you call a zombie who doesn't joke around? Do you know what you call a zombie who doesn't joke around? He is, or she is, dead serious. Okay. Two more. I know, Lorraine, it was wrong. That funeral one, I know. It's on so many levels. That one was wrong. Okay, here's the next one. Talk to someone. This is kind of funny. Talking to someone, a guy who says, "You know where I met my wife?" And I was like, "Tell me, I'd love to hear the story." And he says, "Well, I met her getting x-rays. She was the radiologist, the x-ray technician who came in to x-ray me." He says, "I, to this day, wonder what she saw in me." Oh, goodness. Maybe a broken bone. I don't know. What was being x-rayed? Oh, and the final one, we'll end with this one. Talked to someone who went to a zoo the other day and they saw a baguette in a cage. They looked at it and said, "A baguette in a cage? What is there a baguette in the cage for?" They didn't know if it was bread or if it was food for the animal. Like, why is there a baguette in a cage? And the zookeeper overhears it and says, "You know why? That is bread in captivity." There you go. Bread in captivity, a baguette in a cage. Okay. With that said, Lorraine, I'm on fire today. You know what it is, Lorraine? Joanna, thank you for wishing my wife happy birthday. Thank you also, Lorraine. Lorraine, it's because it's my wife's birthday. And when I get off live here in just a few minutes, my wife we're actually going to head out to lunch. I'm going to celebrate her and take her out to lunch. So super excited for that. I think that's why I'm in a good mood. There we go. It's honestly one of my favorite days of the year is my wife's birthday. Sincerely, if people say, "Adam, what's your favorite day of the year?" Honestly, March 9th would probably, it probably is the very top, more than Christmas, more than a lot of Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, other days. It is, I love celebrating my wife and all that she is and the journey that she's been on and the beautiful person that she is. So anyway, happy birthday to you, Tanya. Thank you for those of you that wished her a happy birthday. Thanks for enduring the wonderful dad jokes today. And I will I will see you guys next week. Have a one, or actually maybe tomorrow at Big Shots if you stop out.